Just the hair, like the top.
We're already starting.
Awesome.
Hey peeps, this is Marci Lock and
Brian Johnson.
And we're locking down the truth on Marci Lock TV Influential. So a special awesome experience today is that I get to be with my guest, who's amazing and fantastical, Mr. Brian Johnson, because this guy is like a divine brother to me. Someone with a heart of gold. Like I can't even express the amazing person that he is, and I'm so grateful and appreciative of him in my life. And we've actually only been like super tight for like a little over a year. So Brian's here in California, spent a couple days playing, strategizing, doing some things, because we do a lot of things together, from some corporate wellness programs to even personal clients that we get to both work with for a year at a high level to combine everything from his genius around nutrition and disease dysfunctioning and body languaging to my genius of the inner belief systems and roots causes. And so we felt like it's a great opportunity to come together on Marci Lock Influential TV and share some real truths, So if you guys haven't joined us on Marci Lock TV before, then you can actually go to marcilockapp.com or on iTunes and get the app and get all the past TV shows and radio shows, and go to mindbody90.com to get the free video series. Brian, where do they find out about you first off?
Think Great Lose Weight is one of my brands, and then you can also go to Brian Johnson on Facebook, and there's a few of us, so might be a little interesting. Start with Think Great Lose Weight, plug into that one, and then we can sort it out from there.
Awesome. So Brian and I are very just about being in tune, being an inspiration, and being able to serve. And even this morning after work, I was like, who do we get to serve today? And let's enjoy our day. Like, one of the most amazing people to be around. And so we've got a couple. For me, what's coming through me is an intention to get just super real, because what is such a massive disconnect is why we don't live an awesome, amazing life, and through our body of health being that tool and that vehicle to be able to do so. So I want to get real with like, what's really going on for you? Why the hell do we not live in a rockin' body with ease that exudes from us as the tool to then experience truth and inspiration, to be able to inspire and create in your passion or purpose, and to work with your clients, and to connect with your family, and to literally be in this amazing experience, because most of us are choosing shit and making it hard. And this morning we actually did a video on making it easy or hard. It's as easy or as hard as you want to make it. So why is there this massive disconnect? This is the first place I want to start, because I believe the belief system is that everything in life gets to be awesome. Every single aspect of your life should be thriving if you're internally clear and aligned to that truth and the root beliefs that say that, yeah, I'm worthy of this, I deserve this. Because if I'm worthy of this and I deserve this rockin' body of health. So of course I'm going to live in the behaviors that allow me to live in that, as well as creating the relationships, etc. So there's a massive disconnect. So Bri, what do you think is the big disconnect as to why people don't see the truth, or what's the real cost of not living in tune with your body at the core to be able to have everything else?
So we'll handle both of those. So at this moment in my journey, I'm currently 37 years young. I say 37 years young because I'm just not catching my stride. So yeah, at this point in my journey, I've worked with over 15,000 people. And what I have found consistently is that people, we are operating off of false identities that we have made up about stories about growing up, that mom didn't love me, dad didn't love me, and you'll see body language and stuff going on, which is pretty interesting. So the stories that we're living off of are not who we are as spirit beings, as created by God, in my opinion, and we're out of integrity. So when we have shame and guilt about ourselves, about our past, and things that we have maybe been through, experiences, and I have to speak directly about myself. I was suicidal when I was 20, and for 12 years I was functioning off of I'm not good enough and I don't love myself, and every action that came up because of the subconscious record that was playing was producing thoughts in my brain that produced eventual actions in my life that led up to I'm not worth the shit. And I don't love myself and all of that stuff. And, really what I invite you to do today is to take your current set of belief systems that you're functioning off of, and you're probably unaware of you're even functioning off of. We're not asking you to let them go. Just set them on the side for a moment and let us put some different ideas out there and see if it resonates with you. I believe that people are functioning in this mechanism, in this pattern, these patterns unknowingly, because you may find yourself in an experience. And for me, example, for some reason, when my mom would talk to me, I would automatically, she started asking me questions, and I would automatically get defensive. And I'm like, all right, it's okay.
Internal.
Where is this coming from? I don't have a conscious experience that I say, oh, wow, well, I was pissed off when such and such happened, and this is what I'm reacting to. I had no idea. And I said, all right, I give myself permission to know and to understand why I'm reacting off of this way. And you may have experiences in your life now that you're dealing with that you're unaware that you're completely reacting to off of situations that may have happened when you were 1 and 2 and 3 years old, that subconsciously the body's like, hey, we still have things going on. And if you have symptoms and pain showing up in your body, that's your body's way of telling you, using your instrument to identify what patterns are functioning subconsciously. So body language is amazing. Like, there's a study done, there's multiple studies done, one done in the 70s that AT&T did, that proved that over 80% of our communication is done non-verbally. So as we're talking now, you may find yourself starting to itch and scratch, and that's your body saying, hey, this guy knows how to help us out, let us out. You may start itching and scratching. So all of that is feedback to let you know where you're operating at, and not what's wrong with you, what's returning to you.
Yep.
You're already perfect. We're just the last person to know, because we're in our thinker and our body, and we're not aligning up with what God truly has us invented and created us for. So that's my personal opinion.
So if you're first noticing that, and so the first step is to go, whoa, am I experiencing the life that I want? Do I have the results that I want? What's externally showing up for you is internally going on. So this is what we really want to get to, is it is not about the nutrition and fitness. Here, now, a lot of people will come to us because they're like, oh, you look the part, you're the nutrition fitness experts, right? And yes, that is an inkling of what we do, because we know that that is just a reflection of what's going on in your inner self. The body, how the body is showing up, is a reflection of what you believe you deserve and what you believe you can have. And hence Brian's talking about, it starts from the time you're little that you decide on these, you create these decisions. So for instance, I have a personal client that is a famous doctor, and one day she was triggered and had something emotional showing up, and as we looked at what she was feeling in her body, she was feeling, tightness and all this constriction in her chest. It's sadness. And as we looked at the right questions and asked, what is the sadness reflecting to? It's like she's not trusting herself. And as we dug deeper and looked at all the way back to when she was 2 years old, peeing on the floor as a toddler and being told something from her father, that she decided, oh, I'm bad, I'm wrong, I'm fundamentally flawed, I don't trust myself. I don't trust myself to be good enough. I don't trust my body. So how that reflected into her entire life of not trusting in relationships, not trusting in business, not trusting all these things, and how this shows up. Now, you can start to hear and understand these things from the words that you speak, from the body language, from the diseases and things that show up. So feeling, and this is why when people go, oh yeah, I was playing sports, and at this time, then I hurt my knee. Like, I injured my knee at 15 years old, my right knee, which was masculine side energy, and knees are patterns and relationships. And hence, as I became conscious and understood what was really showing up in my life and why I had these blocks, even consciously working through at 15 years old, so I'll share mine, is at 15 years old, my father passed away. And my mom, out of her fear, was like, didn't want to be alone, afraid to be alone, need a man, and started dating. And so in that experience, I reflected having issues with a man and feeling abandoned and feeling, these issues that showed up with a knee injury from playing sports. So hence, it wasn't really about the sports. It was that I had this emotionally going on. Now, consciously, and because I do mind work and internal work, understood how to create that and to shift through that and have this amazing relationship with my mom's husband, my father-in-law, and yet, or my stepdad, and yet my knee would still show up. And when learning deeper, that the body doesn't know the difference between past, present, or future. So you get to, until you go internal and shift through these root things, it doesn't align to actually recreate that health. And so this is why diseases and dysfunction will show up and all these things, but it starts from what's going on inside you. It starts from the decisions that you make as a child, the belief systems, then that reflects. So your beliefs and your thoughts create the perception you have about life. So if people are mean, we create that. If we decide at 2 years old people are mean, then we create that people are mean. Then we create the behavior to, oh, I don't trust you, people are mean, so I'm going to walk around like this and I'm going to do things and I'm going to prove it right. And I create perceiving people are mean, looking for people to be mean, acting out and doing things so people go, oh, whatever. And then people are mean. So you create your world, your experience. So Brian, tell us what's the key for someone to, in your specialty with emotion and with the diseases and the dysfunction, what's the best trigger for them to realize like something's actually going on?
Well, first off, I invite you to not tell yourself you have anything. For example, my doctor says I have such and such, okay? So, yeah, I invite you to not identify with that. If you choose to, you can say, I have symptoms of my back hurts and my arm hurts and some things are going wrong with my immune system. Okay, that way you don't name a thing. As soon as you name a thing, you give it power, and that's the issue number one, because everything in the medical model is designed around you have this, 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 and this. That's not the case. Those are just symptoms being created because our emotional body has something that hasn't been dealt with appropriate, and it'll show up in different areas of the body depending upon what it is. For example, the throat. This is your thyroid. This is anger. The liver is about resentment. The kidneys are about unforgiveness. Right side male, left side female. Okay, it's like you can get into a lot of stuff, and this is what I do with people. I say you have no disease, and I'm not here to treat your disease. I'm here to teach you how to thrive, mind, body, and spirit, and we're going to address your symptoms through medicine, not through medicine, through foods, which are your medicine, and through mindset abilities. So, yeah.
So nutrition and fitness, and this is the key we're really trying to dig into, is that if you don't have the body, first, most of the time you guys just kind of go, oh, well, I just want the body. The body will make me happy. The body will make me more confident. The body will make me have greater relationships. It'll make me get out of the house. It'll make all these things. Bullshit.
It's byproducts.
Bullshit. It's what's going on inside you that says, I am not worthy of having the body. I don't deserve greatness. I don't deserve to have life easy. So hence, even going into corporate wellness programs, the reason like my Mind Body Breakthrough program and combining the things that Brian does, the corporate wellness stuff that we do, is not about, hey, let's hand everybody a nutrition fitness plan, or let's get everybody a gym membership. You know why that doesn't last? How many times have you done that shit over and 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 over again? Because it's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, which is craziness. And that was the drawing point for me after fighting my body my entire life. Growing up doing anorexia, bulimia, pills, products, programs, you name it, all out of the desire to be loved and validated, because at the core, I believed I wasn't worthy and good enough. So guess what? I never, ever was good enough. I never gave myself the body because at the core, I believed I didn't deserve it. So it didn't matter how many programs I did, how many workout things I did, how many nutrition plans I did, how many pills I tried, how many quick weight loss, whatever, anything I tried, I would always sabotage it. And there's a reason why you sabotage. So hence, if we don't go deeper and go into what's really going on inside us, it's a bullshit game you play, staying on the hamster wheel over and over and over again, running that same hamster wheel, thinking that somehow the surface action is going to create a different result when because the ego mind doesn't want to be forced. You don't want to be forced to have to do anything. So this is a whole other aspect, is if the belief systems even on the surface say, well, eating healthy is hard, it doesn't taste good, dining out, I'm missing out. Any of those things are going on as a belief system, then of course you prove that right. You don't want to have to eat healthy. You don't want to have to work out. See, the have to feeling and energy is a whole side thing we could go off of, right? Get to. Yes, you choose to, you get to. So you can realize that it is a choice. Everything that you're doing is a choice. So when you say, I have to do this, you literally give your power away, and it's a forced energy. It's a negative, it's a lack, it's a fear, it's a worry and energy, which is not creation energy, it's fear energy. So hence your ego mind says, screw that, I don't want to be forced, and you will always sabotage it. So hence, it doesn't matter all the years I spent fighting my body, because I thought I had to fight my body. I had to force myself to work out. I had to try to eat good things and force myself to stay away from certain things. All that, and I just trained my cells in you have 37.2 trillion cells waiting for your design, literally believing whatever you believe. So if you believe, I've seen people that come in and they go, I have this big lower body, it's just in my genes, we have just big lower body, but I'm tiny up here. And literally once we train the thoughts to think something different, and so there's a reason why we live in health with ease. There's a reason why we experience financial abundance with ease, that money is like air, because the belief systems say I'm worthy, I'm deserving, and I can't imagine anything other than abundance. But so getting back to start body, that's a bullshit game. That if you keep playing that game and you keep striving for something outside of yourself to be validated that you're worthy and good enough and loved, it will always be a game that you lose because they're settled on their sacrifice. How do I realign the root beliefs, the identity patterns, the perceptions, the thoughts, everything you're speaking every single moment, every single day, that I am the creator of my world and I am aligned to the truth of who I am, that I'm worthy. And so when I'm worthy and I love myself, of course I'm going to live in the behaviors of health. Of course I'm going to create epic relationships. Of course I'm going to do these different things. So in doing this, there's a couple tips. I mean, self-judgment. And I know you've got a lot of this on, as we were talking about yesterday, leaning into feelings. Talk about feelings for a little bit on your side of it, like what the emotions turn into.
Oh yeah, so this is good information. So this is I invite you to write it down if you choose to, because this right here, if you understand this basic principle, you can resurrect or change patterns immediately. So we have 7 feelings that we operate off. So enthusiasm is the top. That's as high as it gets. So when you can say I am enthusiastic about my life with no reserve or like, do I believe that? When you're truly on that level, you will thrive in every area because that's as high as it gets. Enthusiasm is entheos.
I'm like, I'm enthusiastic. I'm enthusiastic about my life.
Enthusiasm is entheos, which is God in you. Okay, so you have enthusiasm, pain, anger, fear, grief, apathy, and unconsciousness. So when you're going on about your day and you sit there and you ask yourself, well, I kind of just, I feel angry. It's okay. First thing you want to do is it's not bad. It's just feedback. There's no such thing as constructive criticism.
Nope.
It's 2 different things. It's an oxymoron. The only thing you really think about here is it's just feedback. We make it bad based off our perceptions and off of our experiences, which is unnecessary. Okay? So for example, if you say, all right, I feel anger or angry, I'm going to give you 2 ways. The deal is that the only time that we have is right now, meaning tomorrow may never happen. Yesterday will never come again. Most people function in these 2 areas and completely miss out on, oh, wow, let's enjoy our time right now. Here's where I'm at. I'm in this moment, enjoying my time with Marci. I'm grateful to be sharing information with you to help you on your journey right now, to help you for tomorrow. Okay? So when I can say I'm feeling angry, that's a state. That means that that's tomorrow, that's yesterday. The only time I have is right now. So if I can, by my word choice, if I can say, I feel anger, what I've just done is I've named a thing, which is an emotion, anger. I've basically set it to where it's right here, right now, which is where all my power is. Now I can change it. So if I say, all right, it's not the fact that, okay, I feel anger, that's fine. I tell myself, it's okay, I feel anger. That pulls a charge off of the emotion, so my body stops reacting to it first off. So you get off of the tightness in the neck and the chin and the back. I feel anger, it's okay. I give myself permission to feel my feelings. That is crucial, because what happens is most of the time we have been conditioned to think that our feelings are not okay, and you keep that shit to yourself. Nobody wants to hear it. So when you say, it's okay, I feel anger. I give myself permission to feel my feelings. I can love what I feel. Perfect love casteth out fear, not religion. Scripturally speaking, I am stating laws to you. God is no respecter of men or women. He is a respecter of his law. So when I can align myself with the truth will set you free. And when you know the truth about yourself, it will set you free. So when I say it's okay, I feel anger, and I give myself permission to resurrect or transmute, which means to take that energy in that moment and just flip it. That's it. Not doing anything crazy. It's just a Hapkido move. Flip it. I give myself permission. Exactly. I give myself, my coach would do.
Be a ninja.
Bob Stevens. So I give myself permission to resurrect or transmute my anger into my forgiveness. Specificity is key. I give myself permission to forgive my mom, my husband, my former husband, not my ex-husband, my former husband. I give myself permission to forgive myself, and I give myself permission to reclaim my authority, because when we have anger, we're blaming or we're giving our power away. I give myself permission to reclaim my authority, and I give myself permission to move forward.
And then what happens is your body moves forward, and you. And so the key thing is, if we don't recognize what's going on and we're not conscious. See, the deal is you're not conscious. You're living subconsciously. Everything you're doing. So something happens, even like Brian's talked about body language, and like something goes on. So there's a trigger, and this is actually like body language and what's going on subconsciously. You're actually instantly reacting to everything because you're living subconsciously. You're living moment by moment based on the belief systems you took on as a child, the conditioned patterns you created to deal with those belief systems or survive and be safe and be validated and be loved. And then the thought processes, everything, the perceptions, it all becomes your identity. So you're acting subconsciously. The goal is to retrain your mind to be conscious, to be so aware of, oh, everything I speak is actually what I'm creating and has a meaning, and there's an energy behind it. So Einstein says no problem can ever be solved from the state in which it was created. If you're exuding from a core level, I'm unworthy, I'm not loved, I'm not deserving, I don't trust people, any of these, all these, the core belief, it stems out into then all these little belief systems. So if you know, the world is scary, or the world's an unsafe place, or the world is hard, it might be I don't trust people, and people are mean, and money is hard, and all these things. And the core belief is because I'm not good enough, and so I got to create all these things to resemble I don't get any of that. But if this is what you're exuding from your energy, you're literally creating more shit. You're exuding this, and yet on the surface it might be, oh, okay, so I'm going to go to, you know, I'm going to do another diet program. Oh, okay, I'm going to do another business strategy. Oh, I'm going to go to another seminar training. And you're doing all these things on the surface, but your core belief systems don't align to say I'm worthy of it. So hence, there's always sabotage, there's always resistance, it's always hard, and you never actually manifest what you really want. And when this isn't, we don't become present with it, it turns into, so what he just talked about with anger. And if it starts, like we said, anger is in the neck, it's in the shoulders, it's in the forehead, it's in the head. And if you there's signs of this and we don't become present and work through it, it turns into disease.
Yeah, here's thyroid medication. There's a very good possibility that you're already in that boat. Okay. And that's just that's the medical model of saying, well, let's just put a Band-Aid on your issue and let's not deal with the root of the symptom.
Symptoms. So even your weight is a symptom. Your weight's a symptom of the root cause. Your finances, if they're fucked up, that's a root cause of what's going on. If your relationships are off, it's a symptom of the root cause of what's going on. If you're spiritually disconnected, it's a symptom of the root cause that's going on. So I love what Brian talked about with feeling your feelings. See, what I want you to hear also is that our world is so conditioned to shut down our feelings. We want to get out of our heads and I mean, I'm talking about, yes, it's about beliefs and thoughts and perceptions, but let's say, for instance, so I teach you 5 steps to overcome sabotage that you can use in any aspect of your life. It's not just about food sabotage, it's about business, it's about relationships, it's about everything. You get clear on the moment you're feeling a feeling that you don't love. If it's not balance, peace, joy, harmony, awesomeness, or you're going into a sabotaging pattern, even it comes down to if you have a project in front of you that you're going to do for your business and rock it out, and you're like, hey, I'm going to do this, and also you find yourself like anxious and doing something else, that's because you're triggered that you're not sure how it's going to work, or it's not going to look perfect, or there's a trigger, and so you create go into a pattern of distraction or whatever your pattern is to deal with the emotion instead of being present with emotion. So you get clear on like, what am I feeling and why am I feeling this way? And getting clear with what is it really even true? What's really going on? What do I want? And you might feel like, oh, that's right. Well, the past perfectionist me is like a little nervous that this doesn't, I'm afraid this isn't going to work out or it's not going to be perfect. Ah, interesting. Okay, so what would I get to do right now, or who would I get to ask for assistance? And you get to start to actually become conscious in the moment to become a creator. But your emotions and see your body showing up will go, oh, I'm feeling tightness in my chest, so that's sadness. What am I really sad about? My little boys this morning had a little meltdown over fruit strips, natural fruit strips, put in their lunchbox, and who got the kind of flavor and who they thought it should be. And so they sat out here on a mat and they put their knees together and they held a rock, so it was their turn and they held hands, and they got to say, I notice I feel sad. They're taking responsibility for their feelings and it being totally okay. I notice I am sad. I notice I'm angry. And getting to allow yourself to feel what's going on, but we've closed off our feelings, and that's actually closing off our genius. Your feelings are the greatest gift that you have because it's the feedback to go. So this is the deal. Pain is the greatest gift you have because pain is part of our process. If we didn't ever feel pain, we'd just be stagnant. We'd just be like, Instead, my intention, my journey in this life is my perfect growth process. Every single experience I'm ever in is perfect for me. There is no comparison. Comparison is the thief to all joy. So if I'm trying to compare myself to Brian, really look, I mean, come on. I mean, there's nothing to compare. I'm my own genius and he's his own genius. I'm 37.2 trillion cells of my own design. He is as well. We have our own thoughts, our own beliefs, our own experiences, our own intentions. There is no way we could compare ourselves. And this is the crazy insanity of society saying, let's compare ourselves and like, this is what's perfect. This is what it should like. It should look this way. Well, you're shooting all over yourself. Yeah. It gets to be whatever I want it to be and whatever serves me and whatever is the perfect creation for me. So when I drop all judgment, so he's talking about it's okay to feel your feelings. When we drop all stories and judgments, I don't believe there is good or bad, wrong or right, this or that. It just is. It just is. In this moment, what is my perfect experience and I'm perfectly experiencing it. If I turn into a bitch mom, I'm doing it perfectly. If I'm having shit-ass something show up, I'm doing it perfectly. But that pain makes me go, ugh, wow, what am I feeling? What's really going on here? I notice I feel this and getting clear to go, wow, well, do I want to be a bitch mom? Of course not. I want to be a loving, amazing mother. So if I find myself triggered and my voice might start to raise or I might just start to feel uneasy, like, whoa, what's going on? And I'm noticing I'm feeling unheard. Maybe I've asked my kids to do something and I'm feeling unheard and ignored. So I get on their level and I'm like, guys, I'm noticing I feel unheard. I feel, and that makes me feel rejected and like I'm not important to you and it's not good enough. And what I notice, what I want is I want to feel heard. And we get to walk through the processes that we teach that like, oh, and they're like, oh, mom, that wasn't my intention. Even saying sorry. See, sorry is saying, I'm wrong, I'm bad, something's wrong with me. Instead of like, if my boys say, I notice, mom, I thought you were mad at me because you yelled from across the room to go do this. My little boy is one super sensitive. If my voice is raised being like, hey, blah, 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 across the room, he's like, oh, are you mad at me? I'm like, oh, babes, thank you for allowing me to see or to notice that you thought something was wrong. No, this is my intention, was just to get your attention from across the house. See, but then if we don't clear those things up, then they take on, oh, I'm wrong, I'm a bad kid, nobody loves me. This morning over a fruit strip, my little boy said, I notice I feel unloved. I feel like nobody loves me and I have no friends. I'm like, oh, darling, thank you for allowing his brother, Skylar, to see that that's what was coming up for you. And is that really true? And we get to work through it and realizing he has tons of friends. His brother loves him. I love him. I'm there to give him hugs and loves. But if he doesn't feel heard and feel that feeling, what happens? From the time we're little, we suppress it. And then what happens, Brian?
Yeah, man, even if one of the things too is if he has some shame or guilt around some things, even it doesn't matter how much you give into someone, like I love you, I'm so grateful for you, and I'm grateful for the moment that we get to share, they can't receive it. So it doesn't matter how much you're dumping into a relationship. If a person has shame or guilt or I'm not worthy,
I love you, I love you, I love you, they're like,
you are better off just pissing on your foot because you're getting more out of it. So the thing to clear up is to say, well, how is there any possibility that you may have some shame or some guilt around some experiences that you've had in your past that you maybe haven't forgiven yourself for? Oh, wow, that's a possibility. Well, do you give yourself permission to forgive yourself right now? Yes or no? Anything other than yes or no is not communication. It's a conscious avoidance response to the subconscious not choosing to deal with the pain that the situation caused. So if you're desiring direct, fulfilling conversation, ask questions that are going to result into a yes or no. And nowadays the society is like, when someone says yes or no, they think you're pissed off at them because it's not a yeah or a sure. Well, that's shit. You're not communicating that way. So you say yes, there's no mistake. And he said yes, okay. No, there's no mistake. And that means you're directly communicating and you're doing a full body communication to where consciously and subconscious you're aligned, which is important because there's so many people nowadays that are operating in duality, which means they have got experiences that they don't love themselves for, and they're holding the shame and guilt to where they're completely disconnected. And then you throw all the medications in, you throw all the crap food that's out there. That's just a recipe for disaster. You can look at our society and look just walking around and see how people are completely not even in their bodies, so medicated on stuff that's out there that's completely unnecessary, because if they were just able to connect with themselves and forgive them for past experiences and understand who they truly am, the world will be a different place.
Yeah.
And it is heading that way.
Yeah. So what ultimately, coming back to this, is I want you to hear that if you're not experiencing, see, the results don't lie that you have in your life. That's it. The results will never lie. Your body will never lie. The body will tell you what's going on. The moment I have a client or in my mind body breakthrough masterminds or in some of our breakthrough experiences, something shows up for somebody, it's like instantly like what's your body telling you? What are you feeling? What is it? Where is it? Your body will never lie, and the results in your life don't lie. You can have all the validations, excuses, and stories. Like, let's go back to the surface, getting the body, and it's like, well, I don't have the time. Well, I don't have the equipment. Or all of that is just bullshit as to you're not worthy of it. You don't believe that you deserve it. So, but let's get clear on going back to this. What is it really going to do for you? When do you see enough pain in what you're experiencing that you want something different? Is it really about just getting the body and about, you know, looking good so that you're approved and loved by society? Because the people that are showing up in that, so is it really just about the body? If we go, oh, they look the part, so they've got a great body, they must love themselves. I still say bullshit. If everything else in your life is not showing up. Talked to someone yesterday. I have tons of fitness nutrition experts that go through my program because the inner game is missing. So what do? Because that was the thing they created that they could control. As most likely perfectionist identity, they can control the body. They know how to work out and kick ass in the body. So they look the part. So they feel like to society, I'm good enough, I'm about in love. But relationships are shit, finances are shit, and they're still doing this with the body. 5 pounds up and down, 5 pounds up and down, getting to the place where they get triggered and they sabotage and not know how to be at peace and freedom with the body for the rest of your life with ease. That is effortless. It is your fat burning machine. It's effortless. You have something.
Yeah, I do. So definitely here's one thing that we'll leave you with, or I'll leave you with for sure. One thing I invite you to do is to always, in the moment, when you feel the pain and you feel your butt contract, first thing you just tell yourself, it's okay. I give myself permission to make this fun and easy. And yes, I'm in the middle of feeling some pain, and I potentially do not choose to move through it, which is where most of the people go, because as soon as they hit that pain, they're like, well, screw that, I'm off.
This. I'm going to go this. I'm going to revert.
In that moment, just say, what if I take a look at this and I say, all right, yes, I'm here right now. Yes, I feel pain. If I look on the other side of this fence and I deal with this pain head on and just deal with it and breathe into it and say, it's okay, I choose to make this fun and easy. What is the pleasure that is available to me? That's the big deal. Are you willing to experience some pain to have the pleasure in your life? Are you going to shut down immediately when you feel the pain and deal with the pain for the rest of your life? Typically, the pain is only going to be momentarily while you make the shift and get out of your bubble and push your upper limits more. And then you get to experience the pleasure in your life, whether it's with your relationship, your spiritual relationship, with your family, your body, your business, all of it. It's not an and or, it's a yes and.
It's not either or. I can have this or I can have this. It's and everything. If I'm worthy fully, I can have and everything. And something Brian touched on is that when you give yourself permission to look within. So the moment you feel defense, like he said with his mom, he's like, whoa, what's going on inside? When you look inside, you go from the war that's going on to breaking free of it and it being freedom. And then you go through that comfort zone to have even greater. And then the next comfort zone to have even greater. Really, the only problem we ever have is the upper limit problem of allowing ourselves. How much joy can you feel? How much abundance can you handle? How much can you handle? Because then you're going to, and then want to bring yourself back down to what feels normal. And this gets to become your new norm. And so there's so many aspects we can go into. I know Brian and I could go for hours, but what I want you to ultimately get back to is that look at what is possible when you're actually connected. What's possible for the large, massive corporations that we do our corporate wellness program into. It's like to see employees that get to not only create a body of health, so they're high energy and they're ready to thrive every day and they're ready to produce and they have amazing feelings and gosh, how that spreads to everyone around you, to your family, to everything. What's possible for you, a high-end producer, that in your business even, in your energy, in your ability to connect with your clients, in your relationships, in your body, when you're connected to this tool. Because if you're not, so it starts back to being understanding what's going on here. If you're not connected to this, you're operating out of less than 10% of your capacity and power.
Yes, and if you are a high-level achiever or a business owner in a corporate environment, here's the thing you want to keep in mind. If you're looking at everyone else and saying, my relationship is this and my wife, damn it, does this, well, guess what? If you caught it, you got it. That means that's your shit.
Yep.
And the beauty of that is you say, oh, wow, I recognize in that person. And how does that apply to me? Where am I off? Where do I dislike myself? And where have I stepped off of my path of forgiving myself? When you understand that, you have an immense power, because if you don't go within, you go without.
And when you said, when you're pointing at someone, see, the 3 fingers are actually pointing back at you.
Yep.
So it's all body language. You're actually seeing in someone else what you see in you. They're just a mirror and a reflection for you.
It's all holographic. Everything you're experiencing, your experience with people around you, is what's going on inside of you. So if you choose to change something in your life, continue to change yourself, and the people around you will consistently change, including your family, through quantum physics. It happens that fast in the twinkling of an eye.
So ultimately what I want you to hear is how easy it can be. How easy your life can be, how abundant, how amazing, how thriving, how joyful. I mean, to go from my past experience of fight hard, you know, from the body to money to everything, being a $2 an hour waitress, cheated on with 2 little boys to support, to living and thriving and living in paradise, and, you know, making 6+ figures a month easily and effortlessly, and living in a rockin' body of health, having amazing relationships, only attracting the most amazing people in my life. Brian's like my soul brother attracted into my life because I only attract the very best. It's epic and awesome. And that life just gets greater and greater and greater. That's easy. What you're doing now, if you're not living with ease and peace and freedom and life being awesome, literally the most days I'm like, what day is it? Because it's just awesome. Every day is awesome. And I always wear a bikini because I always am going to hit the beach, right? That's just that's my new norm. But I could have never fathomed that if I didn't start one step. So if there's a disconnect, it might feel scary. A lot of we trained ourselves with see fear instead of enthusiasm and excitement. And the last thing I want to end on is that there's only 2 energies you're always operating out of: fear or faith. And if you're and actually excitement or enthusiasm is the same feeling and emotion firing in your body as fear can be taken. It's anxiousness. It's in your stomach. It's like it's your perception that creates your possibility.
You're always going to have butterflies. Your objective is to get them all going in the same direction.
To the direction you want to go, to the definiteness of purpose. So let me bring this back to you and see how people stop themselves by a thought comes up that, oh my gosh, well, I don't know how it's going to look, or I don't know if I'm going to be successful, or I might be judged. And that feels like fear. And when we choose to see it through the eyes of fear, lack, scarcity, etc., like say, for instance, you're going up a roller coaster. This is my favorite analogy of this. You're going up a roller coaster and you look at it through the eyes of fear. You go, oh my gosh, I don't know what's up over this hill and what's around the bend and what's at the end. But if you choose, so you never get on the roller coaster. You never get on it. You never enjoy the ride. You never see where it goes to. You never have the opportunities because you think I have to know what it's going to look like to be safe because I got to be validated and loved. Instead, when we get on if we look at it through the faith energy, the enthusiasm, the excitement, the curiosity, the wonderment questions, we go, oh, I'm excited to see what's up over this hill and what's around the bend and all the opportunities and who I get to meet along my way. And you know what's at the end of this roller coaster and how awesome my life gets to be. I'm enthusiastic, I'm curious, and I move forward. So if you're someone who is not experiencing the ultimate life that you want, a rockin' body of health with ease, spiritually aligned and connected, the reason I only attract the very best and the perfect people flow into my space, and I only work with the most amazing badasses and only work with corporations who are all about thriving, is because we're in alignment to attract the very best. Having amazing, phenomenal, passionate relationships, having every aspect of your life thriving. If that is not your result, if you're not experiencing awesomeness, what is the point? But I want you to get back to it's your choice.
Yeah, and you deserve the best, so give yourself permission to receive it.
Yes.
And to act on it.
So if you're interested in working with Brian or I, or being able to learn from, like we've really put out an intention to have lots of ways to serve you that you can start anywhere, from even the Marci Lock app, having tons of fitness tips and videos. I mean, we did the last couple of days together. We've done so many videos on just teaching little tricks and secrets and tips and tools. So you can definitely go to Facebook is a great way to follow both of us. Marci Lock, or follow Brian Johnson. Think Great to Lose Weight.
Think Great Lose Weight.
ThinkGreatLoseWeight.com, right? Is the website.
Or Facebook. You can do Think Great Lose Weight too.
You can email my assistant Cami, Kami, at marcilock.com, or even marcilock.com. Just contact us if you're interested in doing either corporate wellness or there are a few people that we pick every year that I work with people for a year straight in the high end, also to my Mind Body Breakthrough Mastermind groups and Badass Breakthrough Adventures. Brian works with people individually, and we do corporations, and we also co-collaborate in working with individuals so that they get everything from his genius of the verbiage and the emotions and the disease and dysfunctions and mind and the internal breakthrough and being able to live in a rockin' body health and all the fun stuff that we do. So what's your last tip?
You know, if this resonated with you even somewhat, which I'm sure if you're watching this, then you're obviously on the same frequency, because that's just how it works. So if this made somewhat of sense to you and say, you know what, I can see where this would apply to me and this would apply to you, you owe yourself at least the opportunity to have a conversation to see if or how we can serve you, because if not, you're just wasting your time and wasting your life, and life is short. My brother passed in July and it happened that fast. So give yourself permission to receive God's goodness and give yourself permission to receive all of that's available to you and not just some of it. So
awesome. I love it. Truth. So you guys have an amazing, wonderful, fantastical day. Choose it. Believe that you're worthy and deserving of it. Power of choice is yours. Choose your best life.
And remember, if you don't make time for your wellness, you will make time for your
sickness. Log it down.